You had the date. You showed up, right? The conversation flowed naturally. The chemistry felt real. The sex was good. She left smiling. And then nothing. No texts. No calls. No explanation. Here's the truth. Most men don't want to face. If sex alone were enough, she wouldn't vanish after giving you access to her body. Women can sleep with a man and still feel absolutely no pull to return. What failed wasn't attraction. It was connection. And not romance. Not money. Not status. Not muscles. There is a specific biological switch in the female brain that goes deeper than lust. When it's activated, she doesn't just want you, she bonds to you. Not consciously. Not by decision, by biology. Sex stimulates her body. Bonding rewires her nervous system. I'm telling you this as a woman who understands how women attach and why they walk away from men who believe they did everything right. This isn't about simping or emotional theatrics. It's about learning how to hold emotional frame without sacrificing your edge. If you want content that gives you leverage instead of comforting lies, like and subscribe. This isn't entertainment. This is understanding the game, so you stop playing it blind. Let's break down what's actually happening, and why once you see it, everything changes. You were conditioned to believe a very specific lie about attraction. Maybe no one said it outright, but you absorbed it through movies, social media, dating advice, and other confused men. Look better, earn more. Be confident. Be impressive. Stack enough of those traits together, and a woman will stay. Here's what nobody says out loud. Most men who get left behind weren't too attractive. They weren't awkward. They didn't mess things up sexually. Many of them executed perfectly on paper. They got the date. They felt the chemistry. They had this, and then they were erased. Because getting access to a woman's body has never been the real challenge. Holding space in her emotional world is where most men fail, and they don't realize it until it hurts. Women don't leave because the sex was bad. They leave because nothing remained after it ended. No imprint. No emotional echo. No internal pull drawing her back when you're not there. You can excite her for one night and still be completely forgettable by morning. That's the brutal difference. Attraction isn't measured by how intense the moment feels. It's measured by what lingers when the moment is over. And most men leave no residue behind. No emotional signal strong enough to compete with her independence, her options, her life. So, she doesn't chase. She doesn't explain. She simply moves on. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. The men who lose women this way usually believe they were exciting, confident, even dominant. They confuse stimulation with impact. They think desire equals attachment. It, dos, crees. A woman can want you and still feel nothing tying her to you. She can enjoy you and still feel safer walking away than staying connected. That's why this experience feels so confusing from the male side. You felt something ignite. She felt nothing settle. And that difference changes everything. She didn't leave because you weren't exciting. She left because nothing about you stayed with her. To understand why excitement fades while attachment lingers, you have to stop thinking in romantic terms and start thinking in chemical one's real brain chemistry. Most male attraction strategies operate on dopamine. Dopamine is the spike, the rush, the hit. It's released through novelty, flirting, tension, sex. It sharpens focus and creates craving. Dopamine is powerful, but it's temporary. High, crash, gone. That's why lust burns fast and fades quickly. Dopamine doesn't bond. It motivates. It pushes someone to chase a feeling, not a person. Once the stimulation fades, the pull disappears with it. No matter how intense the night was, dopamine gives her no biological reason to return. Oxytocin works differently. Oxytocin is released when a woman feels emotionally safe. When she feels seen rather than evaluated. When her nervous system relaxes instead of staying alert. It's the hormone behind trust, bonding, and long-term attachment. Here's what most men miss. Oxytocin doesn't feel dramatic. It feels calming, grounding, familiar. It doesn't spike, it settles. When oxytocin is activated, her body starts associating you with safety and regulation. Not just excitement, but relief. Not stimulation, but comfort. That's when attachment begins. She doesn't just like you, her body remembers you. This is why a woman can walk away from amazing sex without a second thought and still find herself thinking about a man who never tried to impress her. One gave her dopamine, the other gave her oxytocin. Dopamine excites her. Oxytocin imprints you. And imprinting isn't conscious. She doesn't choose it. It happens below logic, below language, below intention. Her nervous system decides long before her mind explains it. So when men say, "I don't get it," the chemistry was insane. They're describing dopamine. And when women say, "I don't know why, I just feel comfortable with him," they're describing oxytocin. One fades. The other rewires attachment. Once you understand this, confusion disappears. Excitement alone never makes a woman stay. Safety makes her bond. You've probably lived this. The date went well. The vibe was easy. The sex wasn't awkward. It was good. She laughed. She stayed over. She kissed you. Goodbye. And then, the next morning, silence. From your side, it feels brutal because you're replaying the night. The intimacy, her reactions, the connection you thought you felt. But while you're replaying, she's already emotionally gone. Not because she's cold. Not because she's cruel. Not because you messed up. She disappeared because nothing anchored her. Sex creates sensation, not meaning. And sensation fades quickly once the body returns to baseline. If there's no emotional signal beneath the physical experience, her nervous system has no reason to pull her back. So when the stimulation ends, so does the attachment. Most men misread this. They assume ghosting is a judgment of performance. It isn't. It's a lack of emotional gravity. You didn't repel her. You simply didn't register deeply enough to matter. Her body experienced pleasure, but her system never relaxed. She enjoyed the moment, but she never settled. And without settling, there's no pull to reconnect. That's why explanations never come. There's nothing unresolved. No emotional thread left hanging. The night closed cleanly. Here's the truth. Men avoid. Women don't stay because something felt good. They stay because something felt grounding. Because being with you lowered her internal noise instead of adding to it. If nothing in her nervous system softened around you, she won't return no matter how confident you were, how good the sex was, or how right everything seemed. Ghosting isn't rejection. It's absence of attachment. Until you understand that difference, this pattern will repeat different women, same ending. Now, let's make this real. Picture the first man. On paper, he's everything men think women want. Tall, well-dressed, successful, confident. He plans impressive dates, speaks with certainty. Looks like a win. From the outside, she should be lucky. But something is missing. Conversations stay surface level. When she shares something personal, he responds correctly, but not emotionally. He hears her words without receiving her experience. There's no judgment, but no resonance. Being with him feels polished and empty. Now contrast that with the second man. He isn't flashy. He isn't perfect. He doesn't dominate the room. But when she speaks, he's present, not performing, not fixing, not impressing. He notices shifts in her tone. He asks unscripted questions. He understands her humor. He doesn't rush emotional moments. When she opens up, he stays calm and grounded. Something subtle happens around him. Her nervous system slows down. She doesn't feel evaluated. She doesn't feel managed. She doesn't have to maintain an image. She can drop the mask, and nothing bad happens. That permission changes how her body responds. This is where attachment forms. Not because he's better on paper, but because being with him feels regulating. Over time, she thinks about him more. Misses his presence. Wants to share things with him first. She may not even know why. From the outside, it looks irrational. From the inside, it feels inevitable. She didn't feel more excited. She felt at home. Comfort without boredom. Safety without control. That combination is rare. And when a woman finds it, her system doesn't let go easily. This is why one man gets replaced, and the other becomes the standard. Most men misunderstand emotional safety. They hear safe and think weak, passive, predictable, desire-killing, so they resist it. But emotional safety isn't softness. It's steadiness. A man who creates emotional safety isn't chasing approval. He isn't over-explaining. He isn't performing masculinity. He's grounded, and grounded men transmit calm. When you're emotionally solid, she doesn't feel rushed or tested. She doesn't feel like one wrong word will shift your mood. That emotional predictability, not behavioral predictability, allows her to relax. And when she relaxes, she opens. This is the real power shift. The man who creates emotional safety controls the pace without pushing. Her system moves toward him naturally. Most men fall into extremes. Emotionally distant, she feels unseen. Emotionally needy, she feels responsible. Neither creates safety. But the man who can stay present without grasping, lead without controlling, listen without fixing, becomes someone her body trusts. And trust is leverage, biological leverage. Once she associates you with emotional stability, she stops scanning for exits. Her defenses lower, not because she's convinced, but because she feels regulated. Attachment deepens through consistency, not intensity. This is where men misfire. Again, they hear connection and start oversharing. Trauma, dumping, seeking reassurance, confusing vulnerability with closeness. It backfires. Emotional connection is not emotional dumping. Unloading your wounds early doesn't build intimacy, it creates obligation. And responsibility kills attraction faster than anything else. Women don't pull away because men are emotional. They pull away because the emotion is unstable. Presence attracts. Neediness repels. A woman wants to feel connected, not responsible. Bonding is a skill, not a personality trait. It starts with genuine curiosity, questions that invite her out of autopilot, responses that reflect emotion, not just words. It grows through shared anchors, private jokes, small rituals, moments that belong only to you, and it requires restraint. The less you perform, the safer you feel. Connection forms fastest when you're not chasing it. When a woman truly bonds, everything shifts quietly. Desire deepens. Sex becomes present. Loyalty becomes orientation. You become the reference point. She's not staying because you convinced her. She's staying because her body chose you. Sex opens the door. Connection makes her lock it from the inside. Any man can touch her body. Very few know how to stay in her nervous system. If this changed how you see attraction, subscribe. If you've lived this experience, comment below. You're not alone, and you're not wrong for wanting clarity.